Hey everyone, Michael here. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how to set up and use price action concepts by LuxAlgo in a very spoon-fed tutorial. I feel like a lot of tutorials out there, they kind of give you this high overview and not the nitty-gritty stuff that you actually have to know if you want to make those consistent profits. So first things first, I want you to come over here to the top right-hand corner, and I want you guys to open a new layout. That way everything is new and fresh and you guys don't have to worry about stuff. I want you guys to set your chart to the daily. I want you guys to get rid of the volume. And then from here, I want you guys to rename this. This could be PAC, Price Action Concepts Test. It could be whatever you guys want to. Because once you guys learn how to do this, you can make multiple layouts using this information, okay? So I'm going to leave it as PAC Test. From here, we're going to go over here to indicators, metrics, and strategies. You guys are going to come over here to the left-hand side and go to invite-only scripts. If you guys do not have the premium version of LuxAlgo, you guys can follow along using the free version of Smart Money Concepts, but it doesn't have as many bells and whistles, so to speak, and it's not as profitable, I would say, as price action concepts. But just in case, you guys can still follow along here. All right. You guys are going to see a whole host and stuff in here from LuxAlgo. I have a few from different companies out there, but you guys are going to be aiming for price action concepts right here. Click on it once and you're going to see some order blocks come up, some words, some BOS and things like that. For now, I want you guys to understand that I am zoomed in like 150, 175, and that's just so you can see everything going on, because if I do go back to 100, you guys really can't see those letters and what they mean. And I want you guys to be able to see everything that I'm doing right here. So the way this is going to work is we're going to actually go through and fix all these settings first. And then I'm going to explain what everything does second. That way we can build a strategy off once we know what everything does. All right. So here are the settings that I want you guys to have. For market structure, internal, keep it as all. For swing, make this all as well. For the 5 and 50, you can leave those alone for the moment. I'll explain what those do in a little bit. The colors are going to be the same unless you guys want to change them for whatever reason. Green is good, red is bad. Think of it in those senses. Time frame chart, I will keep this as the chart always. There are special exceptions to this, but they're really not going to be moving around too much. Color candles, this is optional for you guys. Let me show you guys what I mean. If I were to add color candles on right here, you can see how the colored candles turn green way down here, and they've been green ever since. They turned red over here, went down, green right there, a little bit right there, okay? I don't like this, but if you guys want it, you guys can always add it on. Show strong, weak, high, low. This is if you guys are very new to trading and you just hopped on the software and you guys don't know what maybe a strong, weak, high, low looks like. It's just a little bit of support versus a little bit of resistance. If you guys feel like you need it, go for it. You're going to see right here, we don't have them all too often. Weak, low right here, strong, high right here. If I go over to the 15-minute chart, weak, low, strong, high, things like that, okay? Now, let me go back over here to the daily chart for you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you could always just turn it on and use it as levels of support and resistance. For me, I'm going to turn it off for now. Actually, I'll leave it on for you just in case some of you guys don't know. MTF structure scanner, 1 hour. You can leave this as 1 hour. If you guys always are concerned what any of these does, enable market structure scanner, for any time frame. I keep it at 1 hour. Or volumetric order blocks. This one is going to be 5 to 10. Personally, for me, if I'm going through like zoomed out quite a bit, I'll keep this around 7, 8, or 9. 10 is if you really just want everything. For now, we're going to set this to 8. Internal buy sell activity, you're going to keep the colors as the same. Show breakers. You can do this one. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. If I were to click on it, I don't think you would actually see much going on. No, you're not going to really see much of a change. I would leave that off here. Length, keep at 5. Mitigation method, keep it closed. All right. You can try wick and average to see if that helps out your personal strategy, but traditionally when I've tested this out, close usually works the best. Time frame is still going to be chart. Show metric, show midline, high overlap. This is all going to be the same. You want to have all this information here. You can see these order blocks. You want to have all that information there. Liquidity concepts. This is basically, do you like to put your own trend lines onto your charts, or do you want the algo to do it for you? I prefer to do my own trend lines, so I keep this off. But if I were to turn it on, you might actually start to see some trend lines right there. All right. Nice and easy. Patterns. Do you guys like to see your own patterns? You maybe have a pattern cheat sheet or something like that. If you guys have that, you won't need patterns, but if you want to, this will show up some patterns here. I haven't found the patterns to be my favorite part of this tool, so I usually will not keep them on because this is not the pattern that comes to mind when I'm, looking at patterns personally, okay? Even if you were to drop this onto an hourly chart, that pattern is not what comes to mind for me. There are ways to tweak it, but it's just faster, in my opinion, to not tweak it and just do your own patterns. Equal high low. This one can be short term or long term. If you are going to do the equal high lows, you're going to see them right here. Equal high low right there. Equal high low right here. Equal high, excuse me, not equal high low. Equal highs over here. Equal highs. There are some equal lows down here. If you guys like to see those small levels of resistance, small levels of support, you guys can do that. For me, I just see it automatically, so I don't have to do it. But if you guys need it, it's there for you. Long term, you guys can do this here. It'll get rid of a lot of these. And if we have something that's on a very long term low or a very long term high, then you guys could keep that on. For me, I prefer doing long terms. I would say you're going to be using the equal high lows much more in the stock market than in the crypto market personally. And we'll go over this Bitcoin chart right here, and we'll also go over a random stock pick too throughout this video. All right, for now, we're going to leave this on just so you guys have the ability to use it. Liquidity grabs. These are pretty interesting, but I usually will keep them off. I know it's hard to see them right now, even though I'm zoomed in quite a bit. But this is what they look like when you have them turned on. You can see this little bit of a box right here on the wick. One right here and one right there. That's actually at the level of resistance right here, a little bit of liquidity grab. So for this video and this tutorial, you're not going to really need to know much about them, and I don't think you're really going to need to have them on your charts at all. I have worked with a lot of other traders out there, and we just never really use them. Unless maybe perhaps you're day trading, that might be a little bit of an exception. And I'm not talking about your normal day trading. I'm talking about high speed, like, scalping type of stuff. All right. Now, next up, we're going to have fair value gaps. This is optional. I usually don't like to have these on just because you can see how many there are. All right. A lot. Typically, you'll know a fair value gap if you guys have just researched it. It's very easy to see what one is. And so you don't really want to have your chart clustered up with a lot of these. So for that reason, I will say this is also up to you. I am not going to have this on here because it's just way too much stuff on my charts. If you do have them on here, settings are all going to be the same. You do not have to change anything here at all. Premium discount zones. I do not have these on my charts, but if you want to, you can see the very low zone, the equilibrium zone, and the premium high zone where you probably don't want to be buying. This is where you might have an opportunity to buy. If we come all the way back down here, you're really buying. I do not have these on my charts. They're a little bit too much for me, and I just don't particularly like them. I don't really find them all too much useful, okay? Next up, we have high lows, MTF. If you want to see what the previous day's high and low are, the previous week's high low, quarterly's high low, you can click on this and it'll show you the last quarter's high and low, the quarter high, quarter low. If I were to change this to monthly, monthly low, monthly high, those are often levels of support and resistance. So if you guys want to be trading those breakouts or breakdowns, that's an easy thing to have. This all depends on your own trading strategy. So I think most of you guys will probably end up going with weeklies or dailies if you guys are day traders. If you guys are looking for a long-term price action movements, you guys are mostly going to be going off of weekly, monthly, and quarterlies. For now, we're not going to have any of them on there because, we don't know exactly, or I don't know exactly how you guys are going to be using this to trade. All right. Now that we have everything set up, you're going to see a lot of order blocks on here. You can always adjust the order blocks if you feel like there's too many of them, like I just said. But like if we go over here to the 2-hour chart, give it a second, it has to load sometimes. You'll see a lot of order blocks right here. And for whatever reason you want to see less, you can always change that. For me, I actually like having this amount because what you're looking for in hindsight here, or not hindsight, you're looking for these levels that have more of a percentage. Those are going to be stronger levels of support there. So let's go back over here to the daily chart and explain what everything is. And for that, we're going to go over here back to invite only scripts. We're going to go back over here to price action concepts. And you see this little button right here that says read more. I want you guys to click on it. it's going to open a page within the page you're working on, and it's going to give you guys a bunch of information that we're going to go over here together. You can see those trend lines that we've been talking about, the liquidity grabs, change of characters, things like that. And if you wanted to read through this, you can. This is just something that I think you guys would want to know more about. This is really the point of price action concepts. I know this may be a little bit harder to see, and even if it is, when you guys are looking at it on your own computers, I want you guys to right click it and hit open link in new tab. It'll open it up nice and big for us so you guys can see it a little bit easier. Now, what you're going to see here is basically a line chart going up and down, squiggly lines all over the place. But you're going to see these BOS marks with these green lines and these change of character, CHOCH plus marks over here, along with the break of structure red marks. You're even going to see these LH marks. Don't worry about this right here. Low, high, low, things like that. Lower, high, higher, low, if that makes sense. All right. When you guys are using this, this is what you guys are mostly going to be looking for, but there's two levels to this. There are single lined ones right here, like this green one that's solid, and there's these dotted lines right here. A BOS like this is going to be more powerful with the solid line than one that just has a dotted line. Same thing with the change of character. A change of character with a solid line is going to be much more important than one with just the dotted line right here. So the way this works is you're trying to find out when momentum is changing. That's the whole point here. We've reached a high. Are we now going into more of a bearish move? Are we in a bearish move and now we're going into a bullish move? It tries to help you catch the bottom right before volatility really starts to pick up. A lot of times when you have new investors out there, they're going to be buying. They're going to be waiting a while before the move happens. This tries to make it a little bit easier where you buy and then within a few hours, things are going your way. Or if you're day trading, you buy, then a few minutes later, things are just really going your way and you can get in and out of your position without having to hold for too long. So let's take a look of what was going on here. We have the higher lows right here, and we also have the higher highs right here. Each time the price action breaks the previous higher high, you're going to have a break of structure. That's a bullish move because it's a continuation of the bullish trend. That means it continues to go up and up and up. When we're breaking down below the previous low over here for a lower low, that's the break of structure on the bearish side. And that's bearish because we continue to make a move downwards, downwards, downwards. So the way you're going to be using this to trade is to look for that momentum to shift here. You can see right here, we had a higher low right there, even though, higher highs, higher low. We broke down below the higher low and the trend shifted right there for a change of character. That change of character is going to be very, very bearish. Usually you're going to see people into shorts during this time period. And then once you've entered into a change of character and you see multiple break of structures, that's going to make you more bearish or more happy about the position that you're in, or more bullish in the position you're in, no matter what. You know what I mean? Next up, you can see we making lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Same concept applies here, but on the reverse. Most of you guys are going to be using this one because most of you guys like to go long and not short. The price action broke above the lower highs, and that led us to be moving up higher. This is normally we're going to go long right here. Your stop loss will be somewhere down here at this area at the local bottom, or you can have it be at the most recent high-low. For me, I get a little bit finicky about this type of stuff, so I give it a little bit more breathing room, and I'll explain why in a little bit. And then from here, break of structure, everything's still looking good. You see a break of structure here that still looks great because you're looking at a little bit more of more data involved in there. And so on here, okay? The big thing is, once you have that break of structure, you're not going to have another change of character until this low over here is broken by this price action. That's where this all becomes bearish, where you see this right here. This is no longer bullish. It was bullish at the time, but once you break down, now you have that new big bearish signal. So that's the way you guys are going to mostly be using this, and I'll teach you guys more about the order blocks and things like that. But for now, that information is not going to help you out too much. Let's go back up here to exit. Only thing about TradingView is there's only one little X, and it's up here at the top right-hand corner. All right. Now, when you guys are setting up your charts and using a bunch of other stuff, we're going to add in some indicators here. These are going to be very simple indicators to make your charts just a little bit better, make them a little bit more efficient, and it'll stop you from some of the false signals that this indicator may give you. No indicator is 100% perfect, so by adding some other tools in here, it just makes it a lot easier. It helps you from making those trades that end up losing you a lot of money. So you're making 500 bucks a day, and then, you know, sometimes you lose money on the side. You're making 500 bucks, but you only lose 100 bucks. Without using these extra indicators, you may make 500 bucks, and you may lose 300 bucks because of the volatility of the market. I want you guys to be making consistently good profits while also not making by making sure you're not losing all those profits in bad trades. So the other indicators we're going to be adding onto here are going to be the MACD, the stochastic, and then the RSI. Now, mine are a little bit customized when you see the MACD and the stochastic. The only thing that's customized right now is the fact that they have thicker lines. So I'm going to go over here to the RSI and make sure that my lines are thicker as well. This is just makes it easier for you guys to see what's going on. All right, now it's a little bit easier because remember, I'm at a 175% zoom in. If I go back to 100%, they don't look too thick right now, do they? But for now, back over to 175. Now, the MACD, you want to make sure your settings are the standard ones of 12, 26, 9. Those are going to be perfect. The stochastic, this you're going to want to change up to 21, 5, and 5. It smooths it out a little bit, so it's less choppy, basically giving you less false signals. And the RSI right here, you can keep this at 14. If you guys want to, you can change the MA settings, but for this example, I don't think you're going to have to. For most of you guys do not have to. If you guys want to go scalping, you're going to change this up a little bit, but you're going to have to figure out those settings based on your own personal trading style there. So hit OK. Now everything is set up. I just want to shrink this down a little bit. So like with the smart money concept strategy, you're going to be looking for everything to be pointing bullish, and then you're going to buy. And this example, when you guys are looking at MACDs, you want to see the MACD be positive, you want to see the stochastic be positive, and you also want to see the RSI be positive. But you want to see either a break of structure coming along when the price action, or you want to see a change of character here. And those change of characters, if you're looking to go along, of course, are going to be green. So right here is the last time we had everything really aligned on this chart. This is Bitcoin's chart. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw some vertical lines so you guys can see when all the oscillators said to buy, and then when the break of structure came in here. So we had a buy signal right here with the MACD. We had a buy signal right here with the stochastic, and we had a buy signal right here at the same time with the RSI. So we have those three lines working right there. I wait for the last line, so I wait for everything to hit. Sometimes you can wait for just 2 or 1 things to hit if you want to, but I'm more confident if everything's screaming buy, 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 if that makes sense. So I'm going to draw that line right here. So now, let me actually just make that line even a little bit thicker so you guys can see it. There you go. We have this line right here that says buy. We previously had a break of structure, and then boom, I'm going to be buying right here. And the reason I said this earlier, if I can get my little arrow. There we go. The reason why I told you guys we also want the break of structure, and the reason we're using this strategy, is because once you buy, things are going up, 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 and up. You want to see that move happening. You want to be happy with that move, and you don't want to buy and wait for things to go sideways, and then you're just kind of wasting time. The reason this strategy was built like this is because before I really got heavily into crypto trading, I was an options trader. And options trading requires you to focus a lot more on time because there's this factor called theta in the options contracts, and you just have to worry about it. Well, not the contracts, but the price action. And so you want to buy, get the move, and get out. You don't necessarily want to be holding all too long, and this is one of the ways that I was able to come up with this strategy here. So, and then from here, you're going to be looking to sell at specific levels of resistance. These levels of resistance really depend on what you're going for. So for instance, in this trade, you can see we had a low, a high, a low. I'm going to add on a couple Fibonacci levels here just to see what I can get. There are different ways you can do this here. And you can see by right here, that level of resistance is right there. Now, we did break up above it, but if you're trying to get in and out within a shorter period of time based on how long that consolidation is going, that's going to work out pretty well. You buy here 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you're out. And in those 3 days, you've walked away with about 12% profit. If you guys are using leverage, that's really what you guys are hoping for. Now, On the opposite side here, let's go back in time a little bit and see if we can find anything that was maybe a little bit more negative, where everything was going down. This is choppy. I don't trade in choppy weather. I don't. You guys can if you want to, but I do not. It looks like it was actually right here. So we had a red change of character right here that you guys can see. From there, everything afterwards is bearish in my eyes. I will not go long until I see this turn into a green change of character, basically. Now, before we even get going here, let's add on a Fibonacci level on the downward side. Oh, we're not going to even actually have one here, so this is interesting. So let's go back over here. Let's just talk about the opening position here. So we have the change of character. We have the sell sign here, sell sign here, so, sell sign here, and the sell sign here. All right, in this time though, we're still looking at a bullish change of character, so you're not actually going to short here. You're going to be waiting for that change of character to kick in. And then from here, you can see, boom, that's your official sell sign right there. This is where something different happens. You can see that we actually went sideways here before the ultimate move down. Now, some people are going to be okay with this. Some people are going to be just like, okay, I'm okay waiting for the price action to go sideways before I make my profit. I'm okay with that. If you guys are not, this is the way you guys are going to have to view it. You guys are probably not going to be trading on daily charts. And if the overall move has been bullish, you can see in this trend right here, the overall momentum has been bullish to the point where most people are going to be afraid of shorting into that bullishness. And so you might have to wait a little bit more time. You can see coming down a little bit, coming down a little bit before the ultimate drop. So what I would say, if you guys don't like these moves and you guys don't want to go more sideways sometimes, which is perfectly fine, right? This indicator is going to be a little bit different for everybody. What I would say is you guys are going to be looking at the 4-hour charts in these scenarios. So here's the same move again. A little bit different. We have a change of character hopping on right there. We also have a break of structure, which is another shorting sign or a sell sign, if you will. We go over here, we stretch this out. The sell sign came in right here. Sell sign came in right there. And the RSI sign came in right here or right here. I'm not entirely sure, just because I'm not sure, I'll put it right there. And then from here, you have that sell sign being one dash over. And you can see right there. Now, in this time frame, the change of character is actually bullish here. All right, we had a little bit of a pop, it created a change of character. You guys may wait for this move right here. And then, of course, you could be looking for that larger move on the downside. It's not always going to work out like that and be very fast and a sudden drop. You can see there was another sell signal way over here. There we go. And it went bearish right here. The change of character was still bearish, even though the price action went up. So you could play this right here and grind it down a little bit, but sometimes it's just going to go sideways and it's going to grind down. You could scale out a little bit early. You can just get out of your position if it's not working out, and you can still usually walk away with a profit, and that profit is going to be plenty good. Because even when we were going back to that daily chart here, before we had this dump, it was still moving down overall, so you can always take your profits during that that time. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clear everything out again, and we're going to go try the same thing on a stock. What type of stock would be fine here? Most of you guys, I think, like Meta, Microsoft, Nvidia, Google. Microsoft is usually the most challenging of these, so I think it's better that we just probably try that one. Maybe that may make me look pretty foolish here, depending on how the settings turn out, but let's give it a shot. So I'm going to move this back out just a little bit so I can see what's going on. 125. All right. And you can see the change of character right here. Bullish. We're still green because the buy signal came in all the way over here. The buy signal here came all the way over here. And the buy signal for this one came in over here. So really, this is the buy signal for us. All right. Now, there are a couple ways to play this, obviously. You can see that if you just follow the oscillators, it takes some time, but once we hit the change of character right here, and everything is still green, you can try to buy in. You will notice in this example here, since we went sideways for so long with this little bit of a move, due to earnings, which obviously crypto doesn't have. We kind of went negative for the the stochastic and the RSI here. So if you guys see that happen and you guys are maybe just a little bit concerned, just wait and then reapply everything to after it breaks again. Okay, now we're bullish again. Now we're bullish again. And we've already been bullish over here for a while. So now that move happens. Let me just make sure I'm aligning these things. Yeah. And now this is your new buy signal right here. Not the day of the change of character, but right here. And let me actually just have this little tool right here. And now you buy and it's going up, 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 up. And you could add your Fibonacci levels or whatever levels you personally like. There's a whole bunch of ways to find those levels of support and resistance. You can see right here, if you bought right here, that's a good price target. Usually you're aiming for the one level here. It almost went up to the 1.618 level. It's there now, and we're breaking out here to making some nice new highs. I believe even Microsoft just became the most profitable stock to own over Apple. Crazy. But yeah, so that's a couple ways to use it here. On the other side, you can see bearish moves, and you can see that overall, when kind of a bullish trend, you want to be careful as you short into this. So if you notice that it's not working out, like shorting on a daily chart for you, you can see sell signal here. Let's move this out over here, and this sell signal right over here. You can see there was a sell signal here. It only moved down for a day, then it went sideways. Now we're peaking back up, and you can see everything turning green again here. Well, if you guys don't want to trade it that way, again, the best way to do it is simply just to go over to the 4-hour chart or maybe even the 1-hour chart. It'll give you guys a much better opportunity. You can see a change of character right there on the 4-hour chart. You can see everything being red, red, red. Hey, trade this. Within 1 day, you're looking pretty good. Get out of the position because you can see there's other support levels over here. There's support levels over here. It's going to be kind of a grind to deal with those. And you just have to be aware if you have to be able to take your profits if you're going to be day trading. The last one you guys could always do is an hourly chart. This one, of course, is going to be day traders only. While maybe the 4-hour, you can kind of sneak in some 2 to 3 day trades, if you will. Sell right here, sell right here, sell right here. Breakup structure right here. Everything's still going in your way, and you're looking pretty happy. And you can even see the change of character started over here. Now that we have the basics down, now we're just going to talk about a few other things like order blocks. Order blocks are basically these levels of supports and resistances that you guys are going to have to worry about. You can see as far as this Microsoft play, if I zoom in here, we have an order block right here at 134,212, and it's about 6% order block. So whenever you see Microsoft come back down here, and let's say there's a sell signal over here, change of characters over here and stuff like that, or let's even say a different scenario. Let's say we have all these sell signals that come right here. They're only going to be as important as this order block allows. So if you're shorting right here, this is going to be your price target. Don't assume it's going to come down and break down very easily. A lot of times it'll bounce, then break down, bouncing off the order block. Even if everything is screaming sell, if it's screaming sell right above an order block, it can still bounce, go higher, then come back down. So if you do see that, just make sure you're aware of those. Usually, the way you're going to be looking at order blocks, though, is if you can see right here, maybe I should zoom in a lot just for a second. I know it's going to be a real, just annoying thing to do. But you see how this has a number right here, 33%, and this one here has a 6%? Which one do you think is more important as a level of support? It's going to be that 33% one. So the way you want to look at that is 6% is important. If we come down below, right? We may bounce off of it, but it's not like it's going to hold forever and we're just going to keep on going up afterwards. Usually, we'll come all the way back down here, then we'll consolidate, and then we'll move up because this is a large one. And this one, of course, is on a daily chart, so it is much more important. But if you guys were to turn this over to a 4-hour chart here, you'll see that this order block is 8%. You can still scroll down all the way and see this one is now 37%. Still a very powerful one, but it's not at the lows that we saw all the way back over here, like we were just talking about all the way down. There's another one right down here at 37%, which means we're not going to just come straight down, breaking through this one all the way down here. We're probably going to have a nice bounce, consolidation, bounce, and then make a move down here before ultimately continuing the upward movement that stocks usually make, especially stocks like Microsoft, which are pretty bullish. All right, so that's how you guys are going to be using order blocks. Throughout your day trading and things like this, you can use this style when it comes to the 15-minute chart and the 5-minute chart. You guys are going to be looking for everything to be selling bearish. You can see bearish, bearish, bearish. But what happened? there's no bearish change of character. So if you went right here, you're going to be losing money because now the price is going higher. That's why everything working together is going to be a great, it's a great help for most of you guys out there, because a lot of you guys aren't looking at the whole picture. This kind of forces you to look at the whole picture, even though the oscillators are doing pretty much all the work. You're going to have to still make sure that you guys aren't going against the trend here. And those change of characters will show you guys the trend very easily. You can even see all the sell signals right here, breakout structure. Took a little bit of time, but you had that dump, and then you just want to get out of there. If you guys trade after hours, it's a little bit more risky to use this type of tool, but it still is profitable. Now, 17%, 16%, 1%, you could expect it to probably bounce off of this one, break down, come back to over here, and then try to hold a little bit more. But usually if you see two order blocks that are pretty much the same percentage, they have about the same chance of being broken down into, then they're probably not going to be as strong of a level of support. But that's going to be okay because you're doing day trading. You know how many order blocks were on here before they broke out? It's fine, right? Order block right there, you broke out. Big move, continue to chug along. It's a normal thing. So, hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. If you guys have any more questions, please feel free to let me know. I put a lot of work into these videos, so please consider subscribing and giving the video a like. Thanks.